yeah, I love being here and I love connecting to other women. And I think when I think about my own identity, I definitely think about myself being a woman uh, and a mother. And that's what I'm passionate about, helping other women to connect to their bodies, to appreciate their bodies, appreciate the differences, um, and and learn how to, I think, bloom while being in the woman's body. Because we have so many misconceptions about women's bodies. I think we have so many beliefs about why it's somehow, you know, misfortune to be born in a woman's body. Some, I think, perceive it this way, but I think it's such a
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of you here that are listening to this beautiful podcast. I have today with me Polina LeRoy, PhD, is a medical intuitive and a holistic wellness coach. She realized she can see inside the body while pursuing academic career. Since 2012, she's been helping women to restore their physical and mental health through mind, body, spirit approach. But with all of this beautiful entrepreneur and beautiful things that Polina is doing, Polina is also a mom, a beautiful mother. And I'm so excited to actually talk to her, have a conversation with her. I want you to listen to her story of how she got where she is today, because this is the story that led her to helping others with everything that they need. So, Polina, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for showing up today. I would love for you to introduce yourself to the audience and just kind of let us know, what you do, how you got here, and everything else, because this is why we're here today, is to shine you.
thank you. Thank you, Nish, for inviting me. I'm so honored to be here, truly. I think since we met, I felt such a beautiful alignment with you and your energy. And yeah, I love being here and I love connecting to other women. And I think when I think about my own identity, I definitely think about myself being a woman uh, and a mother. And that's what I'm passionate about, helping other women to connect to their bodies, to appreciate their bodies, appreciate the differences, um, and and learn how to, I think, bloom while being in the woman's body. Because we have so many misconceptions about women's bodies. I think we have so many beliefs about why it's somehow, you know, misfortune to be born in a woman's body. Some, I think, perceive it this way, but I think it's such a beautiful thing. And if we learn how to take care of it, it can be beautiful. And I would love to share everything I learned through my own experience here with you.
It's our bodies are truly a temple for us, even if it's for a woman or for a man. We both have such a beautiful body. I do agree with you 100%. But if we had to compare, women do go through a lot more than just a man. For sure, we go through hormonal issues. I'm not saying that men don't do that, but we do in a completely different aspect, in a different way. Starting from when we were young, we grow hair in different areas, and then we go through puberty, and then if that doesn't end, by the time we're in our 50s, 40s, 50s, depending on who we are, we go through other hormonal issues, menopause, perimenopause, and then even further down to like different problems with like hot flashes and other problems that we go through. So no matter what it is that we are going through, or whatever it is that we are facing in our lives, we are together as one. And I feel that when someone's here to help you out and to be able to help you with, to light up your body in a completely different way, I feel our bodies are just another way of a balance in our life when it comes to body, mind, and spirit. And we have to take care of our body, but we have to also include our spirit and our mind in it, which I believe needs to be balanced, all three. And I love that that's what you also do with your clients. And it's really important to bring all three aspects into our business, because that's exactly why we're able to flourish if we can balance all three together. So tell us a little bit, Polina, a little bit about how you got here and what really resonated with you, and how do you became so intuitively being able to help these women with what you do.
That's a good question. I don't know how I ended up here. I think I was always following my curiosity. That's it. And of course, I have a big heart and desire to help other women. And it happened to be that when I was exploring my opportunities after, leaving science, I was open to whatever come. And I started 2-year program about integral coaching. And around this time, when I was learning about psychology and how we have all these beliefs and emotions and all these traumas and how they affect us, I actually realized that yes, I can see inside the body, and I can definitely contribute to other people's health through this. Because I shared the story with you probably about my father dying from cancer, and that was the first time when I realized that yes, I can not only see, but I can sense what's happening in other people's bodies. But it was my first experience, and it was such a dramatic experience for me that I wasn't sure that I want to go back to this and experience this again. And so I kind of didn't want to look at this direction. But then something happened in my own life, and I want to share with you because I usually don't share this story. I went for vacation in London. I went to London to spend a couple of weeks with my friend, and I actually fell down and I broke my leg. And I was like, oh shit, it's something you don't expect on vacation. So I came back home in the cast and with the crunches, and I spent 6 weeks recovering from this. And as soon as I got out of cast, I fell and I broke my wrist. And it happened like within a week after my recovery. And it was like, well, what's going on? Like, this is not normal. As someone who until being 30 years old, I've never broke anything, and then now I'm breaking one and another bone, and it was like, it's not okay. I want to learn what it is. And I thought maybe I have some kind of osteoporosis or something, and my bones are fragile, that's why they keep breaking. And so I started digging, and that exactly when I was in my integral coaching program, and I was surrounded by people who would encourage me to dig deeper. And why is it happening to you? How is serving you? Things like that. How are you creating this in your life? I was kind of in the circle of people who would encourage me to take responsibility for everything in my life, and that was kind of part of my life. And so my friend recommended me a healer who back then lived in Thailand, and we had a session online together, and she tapped into my body and she said, you have enormous feeling of guilt. You have so much guilt in your body, and that's why you keep punishing yourself by breaking your bones. And at first it didn't resonate with me at all. And she just said, how about you just do some creative writing, just whatever comes to you, start with the feelings I resent, or I feel, or I regret, things like that. And so that's what I did for a few days. I was just getting back to this list and adding more and more items. And I realized that she was right, that I did have guilt, and it was guilt about me not being able to save my father from cancer.
Yeah.
And the guilt was so huge, but it was suppressed. I put it so deep down of myself that I couldn't feel it. I couldn't connect it. It was not visible to me, right? But another intuitive person was able to actually tap into it. And I was curious about her approach. And she told me that um, if we remove this guilt out of your body, you will heal very quickly. And that's what happened. We did another session with her. She removed this guilt, and she told me that I can go check my bone, my wrist, and it will be okay. And that's what happened. I went to doctor and they checked my wrist and they say, oh, there's actually no fracture and it's fine. And so they took off cast and I was free to go. And they say it was probably some kind of mistake happened. So I was so impressed by this experience and I wanted to learn what she was doing. And I saw how she's actually working with my beliefs, with my feelings, because it was something I was already familiar with, right? Through my work. And I was like, how do you do it? I want to know. And she recommended me to take this course, Theta Healing Technique, and actually do this course. And 3-day course, I found it very quickly and I was there. And I was ready to tap into my intuitive abilities and wanted to see what's happening. And the first course still wasn't very good for me, although I thought I was ready, but it was a mess. And I thought, oh, all these people are crazy. But, eventually I got back to it and I learned that, oh, not just, some people can do it, everyone can do it. We all can have these intuitive abilities. We all have them, and it's only a matter of practice. The truth is, it's only a matter of practice. If you practice your intuition, if you practice your healing abilities, you will see results like anyone else.
I love your story. I love exactly what what you went through to actually get to where you are today. That is amazing. You know what? I realized very similar to Louise Hay. She's always said anything to do with your body situation when it comes to like any kind of physical health or anything that's hurting, like either your shoulders or your back or your head, it has to do with some kind of a healing that needs to be taking place in order for it to actually heal. I'm amazed how you just were able to figure out that guilt, and with that you were able to heal yourself by just healing your bones or healing your fracture or whatever it is. Do you have any stories like that that you did with other clients too as
Oh
well that you
yeah,
were able to?
yeah.
I'd love for you to share that.
I had a client coming to me, and he broke his toe and he was limping, and he's um he's like, I can't walk. It hurts me so much. And when I tapped into his toe, I found exactly what was causing it. And there was a deep sense of shame about his identity. And there was an incident where he was triggered by this shame. And there was a deep sense of unworthiness. And when we actually helped him to overcome this unworthiness, he told me that within a few days, he got back to me saying that his toe is fine and it doesn't bother him anymore. And usually, when you break your toe, they don't put usually cast on it. They say, oh, it will get better eventually. And that's what was his case. He didn't have any cast, but it was just causing him so much pain. But after our session, just one session, and he got back to me saying that he feels much better, and not only the physical level but emotional as well, because we were able to change these beliefs and his understanding of his own identity. So that was one of the cases that usually I think healing happened pretty quickly. And that's not I wouldn't say that's the usual way. For some people it takes longer. So I don't want to create some, misconception that, yeah, instant healing happens every day for everyone. No, I wish it would be this way, but no. Quite often healing happens. It takes as much time as we need. And honestly, I learned not to rush it, because we want to give our body and our spirit enough time to transform without rush, because sometimes when we rush, it resists.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the more space and the more acceptance we give the faster it will happen.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think healing takes time. Every single person with healing, it takes, everyone's different in their own abilities, in their own body. Some will heal very quickly, some will not. And it takes, a lot of crying, a lot of tears, a lot of like acceptance, accepting things the way that they need to be, allowing them to surrender. There's a lot of surrendering too as well when you are doing these deep, deep healing things. Yeah. Now that I'm talking to you, I feel like I'm getting this really hard. I'm getting some very intense, sometimes intense lower back issues, and I'm thinking maybe that's some kind of healing that I need to do too as well in order to relieve that back pain. Even going for a lot of those people that are listening to that, you think, a lot of these women have chronic back issues, especially when they
Yeah.
have like dislocated discs and stuff like that.
You want me to talk about it?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love for you to talk a little bit more. Oh my God, this okay. Let's do this.
I have so much to share with you. I used
Yeah,
to suffer a lot from chronic back pain,
yeah.
and I learned a lot about it. So I definitely can share what is it about. So I'm not very good at focusing on my own body, my own feelings. Maybe it's obvious as a projector in human design, it's much easier for me to focus on someone else's body, and that's what I do. I usually learn through other bodies. And what I learned from women coming to me with the back issues is that, like everyone else, it's always combination of three, right? It's always the physical aspect, it's always the emotional aspect, and a spiritual aspect as well. So I think when we miss one component, we can, I don't know, it might take much longer for us to actually figure out the solution. So I always focus on all three. And what I learned about back pain is that one aspect of it, it's definitely we're missing something in the connection with the creator. There is lack of something, of us feeling supported by the creator, us feeling encouraged to step into our own power fully, right? There is something that can be improved in our connection with the creator, because when we fully accept our power, the power of the creator within us, we are unstoppable. There's nothing that can stop us. But there is some missing component. Sometimes we think that the creator is far away from us and we're just, limited human beings, right? So sometimes it's the illusion of separation, illusion of distance between us and the creator. So another aspect much closer to our life is usually lack of support. So the back issues, that would be lack of support from maybe a partner, maybe family. Maybe we don't have this, the village that we need to raise our children. So it's definitely would be a lack of support. And sometimes I would say, the way I see it, the heart level, the chest level, that would be a lack of emotional support. And the lower back would be a lack of financial support. So that would be our worries about finances. Do I have enough money to accomplish what I need? Do I have, will I have enough tomorrow? Even those kind of things. You might have enough today, but you can still worry about, will I have enough tomorrow, right? And if we talk about physical aspect, the physical aspect would be actually low-grade viral infection. Usually it's a shingle virus. And if we feed this shingles virus, it can cause local inflammation in the like in neurons, and also inflammation of muscles, right? So it can cause a local inflammation. And sometimes I could feel it, like when it was happening to me, I can feel it when inflammation started, and it felt foreign to me. I couldn't explain what it was, but it felt foreign. Like I could feel that I'm being invaded or attacked by someone. And I couldn't quite tap what it is, but I was able to see this happening in other people's bodies. And I learned that, oh no, it's actually a virus. That's why it feels like like invasion. So it's viral infection being activated, and it's causing inflammation in the muscles, and you know, like it can cause a muscle spasm, like right, muscle cramps, any kind of muscle ache. It's usually viral infection, low-grade viral infection.
Okay, you pinpointed something so beautifully. Like, oh, like it just it resonated with me. It showed like it basically became like, oh my God, yes, you have this portion of my lower back issue. It has to do with maybe finances, or like I'm not able to figure out what it is that, will I have
Mhm.
some tomorrow? Will I, though I know we have lots of it, it sometimes, it triggers in my mind. There's always that what ifs, right?
Yes,
So
yes. It
I
doesn't
think,
matter sometimes how much we have,
yeah,
sometimes anxiety and worry is still there. Will I
yeah,
have enough tomorrow? Will I have my stability that I need? Will I be able to take care of my family? And it can have very, very, very deep roots, like ancestral roots. If you have ancestors who suffered from famine, or, sometimes scarcity, and those worries are passed to you for a reason, because your
mm,
ancestors want you to pay attention to those things and prepare yourself, right? So it always have a kind of the best intention for us,
yeah,
but sometimes we need to review them and understand that, oh, it's just just worry. It doesn't have anything with my reality, and I don't have to continue those, you know believe those
beliefs.
things.
So how would
Mhm.
you heal someone? How would you ask someone to heal themselves when it is more of an ancestry kind of a thing? It's something that's more rooted through another generation from generation or whatever it is. How can someone even know that that could be something that they need to work on?
My recommendation is always pay attention to your feelings, because I think our emotions and feelings are the best guide to what is out of balance.
Okay.
I have another incredible story that I want to share
Yes,
with you if
yes,
you want.
please do.
So whenever we have reactions that are out of balance,
Yeah.
like out of normal, we've been triggered, and it's out of proportion to what happened, right? That's a clue. Pay attention what's happening here. Dig deeper here, because sometimes our traumatic response is what gives away the ancestral trauma that has to be healed. And then it's not necessarily ancestral trauma, it can be your own personal trauma from childhood, right? But the emotional reaction that's out of proportion, that's an indication that we need to pay attention what's happening here. So I had this funny story that happened to me many, many years ago. I would have a problems with ATM machines, like
Yeah.
all the time. I would just, they would get broken while I'm trying to deposit money, some cash, or I tried to take money out of my account. They would get broken. And, I would I find myself like just crying, because like I'm trying to take cash out, and the ATM machine get broken, and it says that I got money, but I didn't get cash, for example. But it already gives me receipt that I already took money. Or the other way around, when I'm trying to deposit, it would take money away from me, but it will get broken and wouldn't give me receipt that I actually deposited money, things like that.
Mm.
And I remember one time when I was already working with all these, traumas and feelings, and I'm depositing money into my account, a lot of cash,
Yeah.
and it's breaking, and it stops functioning right away. And I noticed how I'm shaking, and I'm like, I started crying, and I understand that it's not a big deal. There is a phone number on the ATM machine. You can contact bank, you can explain them what's happening, they will fix it. It's not a big deal. But I'm like shaking, and I feel so powerless. And I was like, oh, I need to notice, I need to pay attention what it is. I need to dig deeper what's happening, because I noticed my emotional reaction, it was out of proportion.
Yeah.
So I went home, and I was like, what was happening there? And I connected the creator and asked the creator to show me. And I realized very quickly that it's happening from my ancestors, my, my grandfather's family, who were kind of aristocracy in Russia. And during the revolution, Russian Revolution in 1917, they lost everything.
Mhm.
The government took everything, the land that belonged there, all the properties, real estate, everything was taken away. All the money were taken away from them. They were left with nothing.
Mm.
And many of them fled, but my grandfather decided to stay. And so he stayed in Russia. But I remember like he always would kind of tell my mom that she has to kind of, see through and kind of like read between the lines and pretty much hide your own identity. You're like, you cannot say who you are. You cannot talk about your roots. You have to kind of hide who you are. So that was kind of his trauma. But what I noticed in me was this feeling of being powerless, that money is taken away from you. And it's not personal. It's not like something's robbing you. It's a machine that's taking money away from you, and there's nothing you can do. So that was my experience in my body, actually experiencing his trauma,
Yeah.
right? The feeling of being completely powerless, there is nothing you can do. It's a machine. You cannot talk to her, right? You
Yeah.
cannot talk to the machine. It's just taking your money and you're left with nothing. So I realized that I was experiencing his trauma and I had to heal this within myself. And I had to remind myself about my own power and that this experience doesn't take my power away. It might feel like for a second, but it doesn't take my power away. And I still have the energy of the creation within me, and I can still create my own abundance. And that's what happened to my grandfather. He was able to create his abundance by himself. And I think that's what the lessons were for me as well, that I'm not a powerless person. I have my power within me, and I know how to utilize my power to create my abundance.
You say it so beautifully. Every aspect of it is so beautiful. Every part of you is so beautiful. I want to ask you, if someone's listening to this and they want to start something right now. Let's just say they want to feel the healing. They want to feel their body. They want to listen to their intuitive. They want to listen to every part of their body. What would you recommend then that they actually start doing first, so then they can continue to listen to that internally within themselves, and so they can start doing that from now? What would you recommend?
I think most important is just to find stillness
Okay.
and make it your priority for every day. Like give some time, 10-15 minutes a day, to find stillness and connect to your body, right? You can just uh, you know find a place where nobody will disturb you. Sometimes hard for us moms.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can experience it all the time. But I when my daughter goes to bed, and I sometimes sit down on my bed or on the floor, and I put my hand on my heart and another hand on my stomach, and I just connect to my body, and I connect to stillness, and I try to quiet my mind and just listen what's happening, what's coming. And when I know that when I quiet my mind enough, I will always receive a message from my body, and I receive message from the creator about what's really important for me right now, in this particular day to hear.
Is there some words that we can say? Is there some kind of an image that we can think about, that while we're just connecting to ourselves? Maybe a light that we can feel, or anything that you think that might help while we're just in stillness?
Yeah, so there's two ways that I'm teaching my students to do it. Two ways. One is you go deep, 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 deep inside your own body, inside your own cells, inside atoms in your body, and you realize that there's the energy of pure white light, which is the creator, and the creator is within you. And when you focus on this beautiful pearly white light and you realize that it is within you, you know how powerful you are, because God is with you. God is in each and every cell of you. Another way is to go up, up beyond the universe and all the layers of spiritual realm and laws and connect to pearly white light that's everywhere it is, right? And I think we can practice it both ways, finding the light outside us or within us. It's everywhere. Um, and when we connect to this pearly white light, which is the energy of the creator and the absolute truth about everything, it's the highest wisdom and it's the highest absolute love. When we connect to this energy, we have access to all the information we need, all the knowledge and wisdom we need. And it's always there for us. It's always waiting for us to come.
The universe is absolutely beautiful. If we can connect through each piece of light, each part of ourselves, each part of our body. I always can try to close my eyes and I think of a bright, either a gold light or a white light that goes from the tip of my
Mm-hmm.
head. And then as it goes down, I feel it on my head first, and then I feel my eyes to see where is it that I kind of need some help. And then I
Mm-hmm.
continue to keep this light to come down to my nasal and then to my cheeks to see my ears, am I okay there? Is there something I need to listen to? And then to my
Mm-hmm.
lips, and then I see the tingling feeling. Am I okay? Does it hurt? Am I fine? To my throat. These are all little chakras that we have, right? The 7
Mm-hmm.
chakras in our
Mm-hmm.
body, plus more we don't really know of. But each one, am I feeling okay? Where is it that I need help? And your body continues, especially when it comes down to your shoulders. A lot of these moms have shoulder pains because we're stressed,
Yeah.
anxiety, lots of things going on with us over, always running around everywhere, right down to your back, your scapula, your muscles around your
Mm-hmm.
trapezes. Being a personal trainer, I can give you some of these names, but not everyone will understand it. And then it goes all the way down to your to your middle of your back, and then you just feel every part of it. And as you continue to feel them, I always try to find a ball, like a little golden energy ball that tries to relieve the pain, if there's any pain. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, imagine it's going, imagine it's going, and then continue to feel that. Um, that's the way that I love these meditations, because then you continue to do it every day, and then always write, like you said, you're journaling, right? Write the
Mm-hmm.
journals, um, and feel every, piece of like what's coming up for you, what's happening for you, what are you grateful for, what are you not, what's something that you can change your mind to, something that maybe I felt something bad about someone, or I said something about someone, and then I change my thoughts about that person or about myself. I don't feel happy about
Yeah.
something. Why do you not feel happy? How can you make that change? um, we go through
One
a lot of
one
this.
of the my favorite questions, especially when I don't like what's happening in my life, is how do I create this in my life?
How did I create this in my life?
Mm-hmm. Or
Wow.
what part of me created this in my life? Like, because sometimes it's part of me that invisible to me, right? It's sometimes
Wow.
it's deep in the subconscious and I
Yes.
don't see this part. So sometimes we're like, what do you mean I'm creating this in my life? Like if I'm sick, would I want to create this in my life? No, right? We feel resistance, but the truth is that we still create this in our life. We just do it unconsciously. And so the intention is to bring the subconscious or unconscious aspect to the conscious, right? So we can actually be aware of the part of us that's actively manifesting something in our life, but without our uh, consent.
That's
Oh,
beautiful. That's a question to ask about every part of your life. How did I create this in my life? How did I bring this into my life? Not just with not just with what's happening in your body, but in your personal life
yeah,
too. How
yeah.
did I get, how did I bring this relationship into my life? How did I do this to myself? How did I, continue? Why do I continue to do this in my life? What is it that I'm learning?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that the universe wants me to, is teaching me? These are questions that we continue. And this is another complete topic, but this is something I would love to bring you in again, for. But very beautiful questions to ask. And for anyone that's listening to that, I really, really love that we are really going deep into this conversation, because these are the reasons why we are here today. once we, when we're in our body, we are energetically very powerful, but we're
Yeah.
forgetting to
Yeah.
tap into those powers because we're forgetting that we're in this world and continuously we're looking for the outside to keep us happy when really it's the inside that needs we
Yeah.
need to feel and love and know that it's within us. All the answers are within us. We just need to look within. So I'm so happy you're here for this. Thank you so much. I have to ask you though, Paulina, if others are looking to get a hold of you for any questions, anything at all, how would they get a hold of you? How would they actually contact you to learn more?
Oh, there's so many ways. You can contact me through Instagram.
Yes.
That's where I'm usually present. You can, send contact through website and send me email. Yeah, or just Instagram. DM me through Instagram.
Yeah. What's your Instagram account?
Polina LeRoy, my name.
Polina LeRoy. And I will actually write this in our descriptions below so everyone else that is reading can actually tap into that. And what is your website?
The same, Polina LeRoy.
.com?
Yeah, PolinaLeRoy.com.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really grateful for you to being here and taking your time and energy and providing us this information because this is so important for everyone that's listening that really truly our energy, everything we bring into this world is all within us. And how is it that we can actually tap into those inner guides so we can continue to live our best beautiful life. And like you said, right, your energy is your spirit, your mind, your body, all being together. We can work together and we can really find what it is that we need to fix and healing wise to help you to heal your body too as well. It's just so beautiful, so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you, Polina, and everyone else that's listening. Please do tap in underneath and check her out, see what she's all about. Energetically, beautifully, a mom that is here to help others. We are all here to help each other and raise each other. So continue to shine with everything that you're doing so brightly, and let's continue to shine others with us. And that's why we're here today. So have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Take care.